All right, so the fight basically went how I thought it was going to go. Mike had his moments. I said if he didn't work behind the jab, that he really wouldn't have any chance. That if he works behind his jab, that's always when he's at his best. I also said that Jake would try and use the jab, back up, and try and hit Tyson with overhand rights and uppercuts, which is basically what happened most of the fight. That Jake would kind of throw his hand out there and use it as a pawing jab. He got warned multiple times by the referee for doing exactly that. And I said that Jake, could obviously win this by a decision. That he could, use the last 20 or 30 seconds of each round in order to kind of steal rounds. Which, I mean, you could say he did, but Mike really didn't throw a lot of punches. I thought Mike looked good the first 2 rounds, moving really well. Coming forward, throwing punches. Using a jab and whatnot. But it seemed like in the third round, he, I don't know if it was the knee injury or whatever that he's clearly been dealing with, but something happened and he just wasn't able to move like he was moving in the first 2 rounds. And if you don't have, with that style, if you don't have mobility, you don't really have anything. So Tyson was just basically standing, straight up and down, maybe a little bit, even fighting off the back foot and going backwards, which is not his style. That peekaboo style custom auto is definitely not built for that. So, the outcome is what the outcome is. I had it 6 rounds to 2, Jake Paul. No real surprises in this fight at all. Kind of went exactly how, I thought it would. I thought Mike would have an opportunity to, maybe get the knockout. And he definitely tried. I mean, he threw some hard shots. Not, acting like he didn't throw any hard shots is just clueless. But again, I said the 14-ounce gloves were gonna play a factor that would be in favor of Jake Paul. The large ring, where Mike had to try and chase Jake down, is in Jake's favor. The rounds, being 2 minutes, obviously worked in Tyson's favor. But it just, the fight went exactly how I said it. If you watch my breakdown, there's no real surprises or shocks or anything like that in this fight. Do I want to see Tyson do this again? Not against a guy like that, not against a young guy. If he wants to run it back again and do like a third fight with Evander Holyfield, both guys kind of up there in age, I would say that would probably be a pretty successful event. And maybe if Mike still has something that he needs to get out of the system, that will allow him to do it. But fighting these guys that are 20, 30 years younger than him, I just, there's no point why. He got a good payday. He's a warrior. He wanted to go out and prove to himself that, he could still do some of the things that, he could do in the past. And there were glimpses of that, but at 58, just, clearly not enough. Getting in there and fighting for real with no headgear and guys throwing, hard shots at you and you having to try and chase them down and do the same thing is a lot different than sparring or hitting the heavy bag. So, you get all these videos posted of Tyson hitting the heavy bag and all this kind of stuff and hitting the mitts, and people are like, oh my God, he's back. But that's much different than fighting. And I don't think a lot of, of the newer or more ignorant fight fans know that. But, overall successful event. This was the most watched fight ever. They broke some records. Tyson got a nice payday. For the most part, gave a decent account of himself for being 58 years old. He didn't get stopped. Like I said, he moves his head really well. It's hard to put together 2 or 3 punches on him, and that showed tonight. I said he's got a granite chin. That showed up tonight. So a lot of things that I said in my breakdown, basically came true, and the fight went, realistically how I thought it was going to go. So, Tyson didn't lose. He walked to the bank with at least $20 million, so he didn't lose. He won all the way to the bank. So that's what it's all about. If Tyson decides to do this again, like I said, if he wants to fight Holyfield again, a third time, something like that, I think that would be cool. I'd definitely be interested in watching, them go at it, but I'm not interested in seeing Tyson fight any of these young guys like Logan Paul or anything like that. I don't care to see it. So, that's really the analysis and breakdown of how the fight went. I didn't really see anything there that shocked me or didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go. The Amanda Serrano Katie Taylor fight, a lot of people are calling robbery, and I think Andre Ward said it best after the fight. Like, if you're going to say that that's arguably the fight of the year, then you can't also say it's a robbery, right? Because fight of the year is like, it could go either way. Which, again, that's what it does. There was a round where Amanda Serrano landed like 54 out of 97 punches. So yes, she outlanded Katie Taylor and threw more punches throughout the totality of the fight. But one of those rounds was 54 landed punches. So you can land 54 punches and win that round overwhelmingly, but still lose the fight, because our fights are scored on an individual round basis. They're not scored as a totality. They're scored as an individual round in the moment with what's going on. So I have no problem, with the outcome, a point here or around there. I have no problem with it. I think it was a great fight. I'd like to see them fight for a third time. But all these people screaming, oh, it's a robbery, it's a robbery. Like Andre Ward said, these people are stupid. That's thrown around way too much. It's thrown around by people who are ignorant and have no idea what they're watching. That was an awesome fight. It could be up for fight of the year again. And because it is, it can't be a robbery. You can't have it both ways, just like Andre Ward said. So that's what I thought about, the two main fights tonight. I thought overall it was a pretty decent card, pretty good night of boxing. I've seen, pay-per-views and things like that put on by other promotional companies that were not anywhere as close to as good as the action and the fights that we saw tonight. So overall, very successful event. Overall, very successful night for Jake Paul. He accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. Mike Tyson accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. They both got paid handsomely. They're both laughing all the way to the bank, and both coming out of this healthy, and that's the best outcome for everybody involved. So that's it for me. That's my take on this fight. If you like it, you don't like it, who cares? That's what happened. It happened just exactly like I said it was going to happen. So that's it. So until the next one, until I feel like talking about something else when it comes to sport of boxing, that's it. Bye.